We are done.
March 23, 2010, President Obama signs into law the signature achievement of his presidency, the Affordable Care Act, the landmark and controversial health care overhaul.
After all the votes have been tallied, health insurance reform becomes law in the United States of America.
Within hours, states across the country filed lawsuits challenging the law.
This is about liberty. It's not just about health care.
Led by Florida, 26 states argue the law's central provision is unconstitutional. The so-called individual mandate. It requires almost every American to purchase health insurance by 2014 or pay a penalty. Opponents say the Constitution's Commerce Clause does not give Congress the power to force individuals to purchase a commercial product like health insurance they may not need or want. Paul Clement is arguing on behalf of the states before the Supreme Court.
These issues are really central to whether the federal government can really regulate anything it wants to.
The government defends the sweeping reforms, arguing medical care is not a choice, that every American will need health care at some point in their lives. They also say the tens of millions of uninsured Americans are costing everyone else more, $43 billion in uncompensated costs in 2008 alone, according to government figures.
No one is saying that there's a right to freeload off one's neighbor when you decide not to choose health insurance.
The stakes only grow larger with the Supreme Court taking the case just months before an election.
If I'm president, we're getting rid of Obamacare and returning to freedom.
And the election year blockbuster has again turned the spotlight on the justices themselves. As with the Bush v. Gore case in 2000, will the justices be criticized for letting politics creep into the courtroom?
While the healthcare cases have huge political overtones, obviously, I think the justices are probably going to put them to the side. The legal stakes are so high that I don't think they'll pay attention that much, if at all, to the fact that it's occurring in an election cycle. They've just got to get the case right.
What we're talking about here is 4 separate issues being argued for 6 hours over 3 days. That rarely happens. And as for how this case will likely shake out, well, the justices have a lot of options before them. They could rule narrowly on the facts of the case or offer a sweeping roadmap on what power, how much power Congress and the president really should have going forward. But even after these marathon public sessions, we still won't know the outcome for likely 3 months. Kate Baldwin, CNN, Washington.